everyone, welcome back to Rolling Solo. My name is Adam Smith, and we are going to start off part number 3 for Dead Reckoning, the solo mode playthrough. There's only one correction I want to make that had a gameplay impact, and this is actually something that popped up in part number 1 around the 1308 point in the video. It was actually at the very end of the AI's turn, where the AI ended off at the Sea Hound Isle, and when it did, it was supposed to place an influence cube there, so that's an easy fix with no gameplay impact, but something we don't want to miss, so I'll be placing one purple cube there. So with that squared away, let's go ahead with the die, make a roll, and determine what AI card is coming up. We're going to be moving into turn number 7, which is going to place us on the 3rd row of the AI card, which you'll see shortly. So let's go ahead with this roll and see what we get. We have a 5. As you can see, for this AI card, it's actually quite simple for the left-hand side. We're going to be keeping the AI in the harbor and nothing else will be done. There's also nothing on the middle line, and of course we're looking at this 7 to 9 row at this point because we're on turn 7 as I mentioned. But the first thing it is going to do is it's going to repair 1 damage. And we remember from the prior video where my garrison at the Spire Island hit it for 1 damage. Well, it's not just sitting in the harbor for no reason. It's actually repairing itself. The one and only fire marker on the AI ship is removed. Next on the AI card, we have a pirate flag, which means it would initiate a battle if I had 3 damage or more on my ship, which I don't. The good news is it would have given itself a bonus of +1 cannon to the battle had it actually attacked me, but that won't be happening. So this was actually a great AI card pull. We're now done. Nothing was taken card-wise off the game board, so we can move right into my turn. The first thing I'm going to do on my turn is I'm going to spend 3 crew, all level 1, to get 3 cargo at my harbor. So now with 3 cargo at my harbor, as well as 1 cargo on my ship, I'm going to play a card called First Mate. And as we talked about this before, it has a question mark next to the expenditure of the cargo to build something. And so I can take this cargo from anywhere, including my ship. It's a great time to be using cargo off my ship because I haven't set sail yet. And that ensures when I do set sail, I get the full allotment. The other thing that's really cool with this is I don't have to have my ship in the space where I want to build. I just have to make sure that I actually have control of that island. So I have 2 islands under my control right now. I have Fire Island and I have the Spire, so I have some choices. I've decided to build a garrison at Fire Island. Again, I'm working up towards having 5 total buildings, and I'll gain that achievement as a possibility as well. So I'm pretty happy with that. Plus, I was able to take 1 cargo off my ship to pay for it and 1 from the harbor. So I have 2 in my harbor. My ship is ready to set sail and get its full allotment of sails. Now, the nasty thing about this is I was really hoping to actually use my gunner cards and my captain card to go after the AI in a battle. I was really ready for that, but the AI sneakily will not come out for me, and it's going to hide in the harbor. Now I can attack it in the harbor, but I have to deal with the defense that the harbor offers, and I really don't want those defensive or those extra defensive cubes going against me. So what I'll do in the meantime is I might actually move over to Trader's Rock, and I might take on that merchant ship in a battle instead. So first we'll set our sails. I get the full allotment of 2 sails, and then I'm going to use one of the sails right away to move to Trader's Rock. I've arrived at Trader's Rock, and I really want to battle that merchant ship as I mentioned, so I want to get ready for that. So I'm going to go ahead and get my 2 gunner cards in play. So that's going to be these ones right here. And actually, while I do this, I'll go ahead and take advantage of the cargo icons on them to generate some at my harbor. So I get 2 of those, and the cannons I'll hold on to for when the battle begins. I'm also going to use my captain, and I'm not really using it for its ability to actually trigger a battle because I don't need that, or for its wheel ability because I have nothing that actually makes use of it currently, but I'm using it for this. Battle, drop 2 cubes. This is really going to help me out and hopefully put the favor on my side when we go ahead for the result of the battle. So the first step of a player versus non-player battle, so in this case me against the merchant ship, I'm going to go ahead and take as many cubes as there are cannon icons on my cards and ship. So my ship has 1 cannon here, and the cards I've played, I want to make use of this one here and this one here. So that's going to give me a total of 3 yellow cubes going in. I have this battle ability which will come into play shortly. All right, let's go ahead and flip over the merchant's ship and see what we're dealing with here in this battle. Oh, wow. Okay. I'm glad I was prepared because this one is an armed merchant ship. You'll see it'll be dropping 4 black cubes against me. There's a win here. It says gain 2 coins on your ship and you get the advance below if you win. If you lose, you're going to take 2 hits to your ship, so 2 fire markers, and you get to level up a card from discard pile or bottom of the deck. So even when you lose in this game, you do get a slight benefit, which is still good, but the real winner comes out with coins in the end and the ability to take the advance that's sitting right here, which is always going to be a nice bonus. So what I got going on here is actually something pretty interesting, because I thought I had the advantage going in, but this is a lot more cubes on the other ship than I thought would be in the first row. We've got 3 here for me going into it. We're going to take 4 black cubes for the AI, and we're going to be dropping all of these into the battleship. Now we're going to go ahead and drop the cubes, take all of them into one hand. You're going to drop them from the same height. Make sure you shuffle them up in your hand a little bit so you don't have all the yellows going in first and all the maybe the blacks following it. Make sure they're mixed up, and then we're going to go ahead and just drop them evenly down the battleship and see how this thing resolves. Oh, that's pretty interesting. And this is a perfect example where I only dropped 3 yellow cubes in here. There was 3 black ones coming in from the merchant, and somehow it resulted so far in what looks to be a tie in terms of who's going to win the battle. Because what you're really gunning for are those 2 highlighted yellow areas. And as you can see, we've got 2 black cubes in them, and we also have 2 yellow cubes in them right now. So it is a tie in terms of who's winning the battle, which again goes back to the back of that merchant card telling us who wins and who loses. What's terrifying though, and it's a little bit hard to see, but just on the edge right here, you'll see a cube that's propped up. It's not sitting inside of this area here or this area here. It's actually up on the ledge. So currently, how this would work is if I decided, the next step being to use battle abilities or not, I could choose, being that I am the active player, to go ahead and use my battle ability, which is to drop 2 more cubes. So many things can happen when you add more cubes into the mix. It could result in me getting additional crowns to help me with the battle. It could knock some of my cubes out of position. It could knock some of the merchant ship's cubes out of position. It could even potentially hit this one that's sitting up on a ledge and end up landing in one of the best possible spots to earn itself 2 towards the success of a battle. And that's what makes the battle system in this game so much fun, is the unknown. And even though I had less cubes, I've still got a shot here. So I'm going to go ahead and do it. Now, you don't touch any cubes in any position until you're done and you're moving into the resolution step, which is after you decide whether or not there's going to be any battle abilities done. And I'm going to use a battle ability, because I have one, to drop 2 cubes. I'm going to risk it. We're going to see how this pans out, because I think it's going to be fun. I hope anyway. Here we go. Oh, did you see what just happened there? So we actually ended up knocking the black cube up onto the ledge and out of the crown position, and then one of my yellow cubes took its spot, and then the other yellow cube, did it actually jump to the other one? I have 4. That's incredible. That was probably the best drop I could have asked for, I think. So I am now sitting in a 4. It's a 4 to a 1. So what ends up happening now is, now that the battle abilities are all resolved, and of course because I'm playing against an AI opponent, they don't have any battle abilities. So in the battle resolution step, we now take a look at all the cubes, and any cubes that are sitting flat inside one of the designated areas are A-OK. If they happen to be propped up, in other words, if there's one side of them kind of touching one of those proper areas, like one of the crown areas, let's say, but it's also up on a ledge too, then it essentially means that it should be moved or slid into the space that it's touching. However, if it's up on a ledge, like this one is, which is extremely hard to see because it's kind of off camera there, that one is going to be just like the new one that was moved at a position and somehow managed to land like that, which is crazy. Those 2 need to actually be re-dropped back through the battleship at this point. So again, things are going to change potentially here. So here we go with 2 black cubes down the chute, and 1 didn't even make it in. That's probably my fault, because it probably fell out the back side of my hand. I'm gonna go ahead and drop that one back through. There we, oh my, it landed in the 2 crown. That is brutal. Are you kidding me? Are we in a tie? All right, so let's talk about all the different slots you can possibly land on at this point, because now we have all the cubes inside of designated areas, all laying flat, everything's been resolved, and now we can actually talk about what these things do and in what order we resolve them. So first off, if you happen to have any exploding shots, and this is probably one of the most fun, if they're sitting in the center here in this exploding shot zone, then you get to take the cube that's in there, plus you get to add a cube for the cube that's in there and drop them down the chute. You're just adding more fun into the equation, more jostling of cubes around everything, right? This could potentially trigger multiple times. It could get crazy. That's the first thing you're going to deal with is exploding shots. So as an example, if 2 of my yellow cubes had to land into this exploding shots area, right now I'd be taking those 2 cubes back into my hand along with 2 more cubes and dropping them back down the chute. Now we deal with all cubes that are in plunder positions. So the plunder positions are the ones that have, of course, the cargo symbol or the coin symbol, and you simply look at them, determine what they are, and you gain that. Now, in this case here, in terms of the black cubes, they all represent the merchant ship. Merchant ships don't gain anything. So if they have cubes that are in those spaces, you just simply take them out. So these 2 black ones that are sitting in this cargo space here, the 2 cargo that they would have gotten, they just don't get because, well, they're a merchant ship. Too bad. But the other ones that they've got there in those crown positions are certainly going to count. Now, we also want to resolve the ones I have. Do I have any in those positions? I do. I have 1. And it's in a position right in a center here. This one right along here. And it's an either or. I can choose to take 1 gold on my ship or 1 cargo. I'm going to go ahead and choose to take the cargo as I'm hoping to go after some advancements on the board later on in my turn because I still have 1 extra movement and I'm within a space where there's another advancement that costs 1. So it sounds like a good idea. So now we're just left with cubes that are sitting in those final positions, which are all around determining a winner, and you literally just add them up. So what we have here is 2 for black in one of the spaces, and then 1 for black in another, so that's 3. For me, I have 4, so I managed to come out on top. I'll quickly mention a couple of the other spaces inside of this tray here that we didn't actually land cubes inside of. Of course, these ones right here with the fire markers in them, there's actually a double fire marker here, a single and a single. Those are going to end up putting damage on your ship. That's just bad. You don't want that to happen, and luckily it didn't in this particular battle. The other ones that are a little bit tougher to see as they're towards the top of the tray are these ones up here. So there is a coin plus a barrel or cargo in this particular case for being up in here. Same over here. So that's actually better than getting the one I got right here where it's either or. And even higher up here on the very top, which is impossible to see from this angle, there is 2 cargo that you gain from that position. So I went ahead and was successful in the battle against that merchant ship. So I win, I gain 2 coins, and I get the advance below, which is awesome. So battling and taking down a merchant ship instead of trading with it, which would have resolved the front if I traded with it, I decided to flip it over and battle it. I took it out. I was lucky I didn't take any damage. I got some extra coins on my ship now. They're all in this back section here, so that cargo space is completely full. It's also gumming up my setting sails, but I'm okay because I'm partway through my turn and already set my sail. I've got 1 more to spend. 4 cargoes sitting for me back at the harbor. I still have the ability to move somewhere else, and I just gained 1 of the advancements because of that battle with the merchant. So I'm pretty happy with how that panned out. There's also something else I get in this case. I get my first cube in the legendary achievement position. I do need 3 more on top of the 1 that I have there now in order to gain that achievement. So I'm working towards it, and it can't be against any buildings. It has to be other ships. So merchant ships count if I win in those battles, as well as the AI. Now, when I take down the AI in a battle, doesn't necessarily mean I'm always going to sink it. Just winning the battle will get me cubes in that legendary position. If I do sink the AI though, then I can take that achievement to the left of the legendary achievement, which is another one I'm gunning for sure. What I'm going to do with my final movement point is spend it, and I've put myself back at my harbor. The reason for this is I'm planning for the next turn to be in a situation where I can take and make use of all of my sails because I'm leaving from a harbor, meaning I can load up on all kinds of cargo, get out there and grab a bunch more advancements. I've put new advancements out on the game board. I'm not going into pirate mode at this point. I definitely want to sleeve this enhancement I just gained onto one of my cards. So it's one that will produce some cargo. It has to be one from a card that I played this turn though. And I'll place that advancement I gained from the merchant ship on one of my crew. Pulled the last 2 cards from the deck. Buccaneer Deckhand is what I got, and I'll pull some more cards off the top of this shuffle deck. Hey, I got my captain back. That's nice. And a first mate. Wow, that's a powerhouse of a hand. So let's roll the die and determine which AI card is going to be pulled. Got ourselves a 3, and we have not had that one before, so we'll pull that up on screen. Also, just so you're aware, we're going into turn 8. AI card is on screen, and as you'll see in that 3rd row from 7 to 9, being that we're on turn 8 as I mentioned, they're going to go ahead and take 2 advancements off 2 different spots on the board, and one of them is a spot that hasn't been explored yet. So the ship is actually going to head out to open sea, reveal an ocean board, take that advancement, and then it's actually going to head over to Fire Island, take that advancement, and try to place 3 influence. The AI took the long journey all the way out to the Cat's Claw. The only thing it's going to do here, now there's a card in its place, is it's going to take that card. But remember, whenever it's a merchant ship, we need to flip a coin to determine how this encounter is going to pan out for the AI. The other thing I did was I placed an Explorer cube way up on the track for the achievement up here. Now, you'll note there's only one more space for the AI to actually reveal, or even myself. I've already got an achievement for the Explorer, so I can't gain any more cubes there. I've already successfully completed it. The AI has 2 and needs 5. So you can see just by the fact there's only 1 board left to search, the AI will never get that Explorer achievement at this point. So I'll go ahead and flip the coin now. We'll see how this encounter resolves. Oh, it slid way over here, and we ended up getting a heads. So the first thing that happens is a cube goes up in the legendary achievement area for the AI. And because there was a battle with the merchant ship from the AI thematically, we flip over the merchant ship, being that it was a heads and it was an attack, and the AI is going to gain this particular advancement. Ouch, it's another cannon that's going into the pirate pile. Next, as you can see on the AI card on screen, is it's going to head to its resting place or its final destination, which is going to be Fire Island, and it's going to try to place 3 influence cubes there. And this is actually, again, amazing because I just built a garrison there recently, so it will be taking a hit from my garrison. So it's going to head over here, and we will be throwing a damage on it, but there's also some other things that are going to be happening because of the fact that it wants to try to drop influence here. So I've gone ahead and placed a fire marker on the AI ship. It's been hit again from one of my garrisons, as I mentioned. It will also take this actual advancement, which is becoming brutal for me because for some crazy reason, it loves the cannons in this game. It's getting every single one of them. And again, cannons or battle abilities are going to go into your pirate pile for the AI, so this pirate pile is becoming absolutely terrifying at this point. So the AI is trying to drop 2 influence cubes on Fire Island, but because my garrison is there, I get to defend. I get 2 black cubes, which I've taken right here, and you can see the 2 black cubes shown below. The fire damage, as I mentioned, is already on the ship. It already was hit. And the crazy thing here is the AI ship is going to get a whole bunch of cubes because of that pirate pile. This is the first time I can show you how that pirate pile is going to influence the number of cubes it gets to drop. So here's how this works. Essentially, we're going to go ahead and tally up the number of cannons it has. So it has 1, 2, and 3 on its ship. So it's going to get 3 for sure. And then on top of that, it's going to get a cube for every 2 cards in the pirate pile, which is why I was terrified because it has a whole bunch in here. So currently, how many cards have we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, that's really bad. So that is 4 additional cubes going in. So the chances of things going well for the garrison have just dropped immensely. It's times like these I wish I had built a fort at Fire Island because it would have given me 5 additional cubes on top of the 2 from the garrison, which would have given me a much better chance at doing damage to this AI ship. But here we go. Let's see what happens. So at this point, we've resolved battle abilities and only the attacker can use them, but the attacker is an AI, so the AI doesn't have battle abilities to use, so now we just have to resolve this battle. So there's a couple things to talk about when dealing with a ship to building battle, and the first thing I want to mention is, of course, you need to make sure all the cubes are in the right track, flat, in other words, in the right position. So this one here is kind of teetering, but it's sitting in the 2 crowns, so unfortunately that will kind of move into there. This one, the black one, actually is up and teetering, but it'll go down into here. These 2 are flat. This one's up on its edge. It's actually not in either spot, so we have to re-drop this one down. So I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. Accidentally bumped that cube. There we go. Now, the next thing to talk about, and you can see there that one of them is actually not laying perfectly flat in there, but we'll go ahead and put it in there. It was in between. We're going to go ahead now and remove everything that has to do with plunder. The only time that plunder works during resolving the battle is when it's ship to ship. If it's ship against building, plunder doesn't matter. So anything that's sitting in a spot like this, where there's a coin gain, for instance, or this one right here, these don't matter. So you remove all these out of the equation. So now we check to see if the ship is going to take any fire damage. And the only fire damage that actually landed in this battle board is from the AI to the building. But buildings don't take fire damage. In order for a building to crumble, it needs to lose the battle overall. So the fire damage that the AI got right here doesn't do anything. It would do something if it happened to be a ship-to-ship battle, though. So this gets removed for now. So what's left? We've got everything now in the crown positions. We've got 3 for the enemy AI against the 2 for the garrison. So unfortunately, the enemy AI ship was able to take down the garrison because it's going to simply remove the garrison, and it gets to place the influence that it was trying to do in the first place. I'm certainly no fan of how that particular battle went down. So the AI is going to replace, as there's no more blank spaces to place cubes, all of my yellow cubes, except for the permanent one, of course. That one always stays, which is why it's called permanent. So these 3 are going to come off, and we're going to have 3 go in place. This is actually quite scary because it's taken beyond what it even needs to take control, because the only thing it actually needed was just the 3. It could have left me with 1 cube here, and it still would have taken control, but the AI will always try to place as many cubes as it's actually stated it will place. And then, of course, because it now has control based on the left-hand column, it's going to place a permanent cube on this side over here. So it is doing pretty good for itself. On the AI card, the next thing it's going to do is it would place 2 influence wherever there is some cargo or coins left on an island. There isn't any on available islands right now, so we can skip past that. And guess what it's going to do? It's going to build a fort. So not only did it come to Fire Island, blow up my garrison, and then take control, but it's going to build a fort to make it tougher for me to get it back. And the last step of this card on the right-hand side is it's going to repair 1 damage from its ship. So it's going to take away the garrison damage that I applied to it when it finished its turn at Fire Island in the first place. This is absolutely crazy and just shows you how awesome the AI is in this game. You'll have moments like this happen to you multiple times where you really do feel like a player is actually across the table from you, completely destroying your plans. The AI's turn is done. We've replenished all the slots with cards, and we're ready to move to my turn. Just before my turn begins, though, I want to level up this deckhand so that I'll be able to take advantage of some extra sails. Now, I currently have no cards in hand that will generate me any additional cargo at the harbor, and one thing to remember is if I can hold on to enough cargo in the future, although I really want to spend some right now, if I have up to 12, I can get the merchant achievement. So that's something I definitely want to aim for. That's one, as I mentioned earlier, can't be achieved by the AI player, but I want to buy advancement cards, and there's some good ones right outside the harbor. So what I'm going to do is, first off, I'm going to drop off the 2 coins that I have on my ship and put them in my treasure chest because there's no point in them being on the ship. So I'm going to have quite a few over here now. So what I got? I've got 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Not bad. So we're working our way up to 30. I've got 1 cargo on my ship. I'm actually going to move it positionally to this space here. I've got a goal to go after 2 advancements on my turn, and it's going to cost me 4. So I want to have all my cargo in 1 slot. Again, it doesn't really matter in this case because I get the full allotment of sails because I'm currently at my harbor anyway, but I'll just do this to make it clean. And just before I set sail from the harbor, I'm going to go ahead and play the deckhand. This way I get an additional sail. So we'll have a total of 3. So we'll move ourselves up to 3 on the track, and I'm going to use 1 sail right away to move. And speaking of sails, I want to head to this location right here where I can purchase a sail for 3. I spent 3 cargo for my ship, gained that advancement, and now I'm going to use another point of movement or another sail to head to Trader's Rock. If the AI is going to continue to mess with me, I'm going to mess with it. Now, it doesn't have control of this yet, but I'm certainly going to try to take it from it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play 2 cards here, actually just a single card, because I can use the 1 influence that I have on my deckhand, which I haven't used yet there in the bottom left-hand corner. So that's 1. And then I'm going to play the Buccaneer card, which has 2 on it, and that's going to allow me to place 3 on the empty spaces of the influence track, which is enough to control Trader's Rock. So I'm really happy to be controlling Trader's Rock because it's a great one to have being so close to my harbor. It can produce 2 cargo, as you can see, and then beside it has the ability to build an outpost, which can then boost it to 3 cargo and a coin. So that's really useful to have that so close and to be, within range of other advancements. So that's a nice one to get. So I want to hold on to that as best I can. For now, I'm going to hold the 2 cards that I have in my hand, the captain and the first mate, because I'll choose one of those likely to level up, although maybe I could get something from my hand in a second here when I end my turn that might be worthwhile leveling too. We'll have to see. In terms of what I want to do to end off my turn, I think I'm going to spend the last barrel that I have on my ship in order to actually purchase this advancement right here. There's no reason why I shouldn't. This is going to give me 2 advancements to sleeve on at the end of my turn. So now I only have 1 cargo left at my harbor. I've refilled the advancements. I don't want to go in pirate mode at this point, and I have 1 sail that I could have used, but I'm not going to use it because I want to start my turn in an island I control so I get the full allotment of sails, and at this point I can sleeve achievements. Let's do that. So my deckhand got an advancement as well as my buccaneer. So I got my captain and first mate in my hand. I'm going to add 4 cards to it. I got a deckhand here. That's good. Sail as well. Crew. Another crew. And lastly, gunner. I'm going to hold off on upgrading just yet in case I want to upgrade a gunner due to a battle with the AI, if that happens. We're going into turn number 9. Let's roll the die and see what we get. Oh, that one's kind of on an angle, plus we had 5 in the past. 17 we have not had. First thing the AI is going to do is it's going to head out all the way to Skull Island, and it's going to nab this advancement right here. This is actually a merchant advancement, so that doesn't happen all that often. So there's 2 of those in that pile for the AI currently. Now it's going to go all the way back, ironically, to where I currently am. It has a mind of its own. And when it's here, it's going to place an influence cube. And good thing it's not enough for it to do anything to me. And I don't have any forts to prevent that or garrisons. It's also going to go ahead and nab this advancement, which is going to be another merchant pile advancement. So we'll go ahead and we're going to replace one of my cubes here with one of its cubes, like so, but you can see here we're still technically tied. So because we're tied, then as of right now, I still have control. And one correction I want to make is in regard to control. As of right now, I actually don't have control because there's 2 criteria that goes into whether you have control. The first one is you have to have more cubes on the island than any other player, including permanent cubes. So as of right now, we're tied, so I don't have that. And the other thing you must have to have island control is you have to have more cubes than the number of empty slots on the island. We don't have to worry about that one because everything's full. So currently, we're actually in a situation where neither of us are in control of the island. Now, if I happen to have 3 or more damage on my ship, the AI would attack me at this point based on the icon of the pirate flag in red there. But because I don't, we skip past that. It is going to gain an upgrade on its ship though. So we'll go ahead and slot the new upgrade on one of the slots. Again, it doesn't matter which one you choose here for the AI because we're never counting the sails like we do on our player board, but this is just for a visual representation of how many upgrades it's actually gained. Next icon on the AI card is to build a fort, and there's already forts on Fire Island which it controls, as well as Deep Reef Crag, and there's nowhere else it controls an island yet, so we can skip past this one, and we move on to producing. The AI is going to go ahead and look for the highest coin producing island that it has, and it's going to produce there. Currently, Fire Island and Deep Crag both actually produce a single coin, so we'll go ahead and just have a coin produced at Fire Island, which will go into the AI supply. Advancements have been refilled, and we're going to move over to my turn. Before my turn begins, I'm going to choose to level up the gunner. This is going to give me a really cool battle ability. As you can see now, I can produce and get 2 cargo, as well as the cannon, and now the new addition of battle, drop 2 cubes. Now, I've done the math here in terms of how many cubes I could possibly get if I wanted to initiate a battle with the AI right now. It would be 7 to 6 in terms of what the AI get versus what I get. So I could push this right now. There's a risk that things could go sideways, and the other risk is if I get enough fire damage on my ship, then when the AI pulls its card, if I have 3 or more, then that is going to, of course, trigger it to come back after me on its turn as well. So I could be kind of turning a situation into one that's very hostile and ends up with me being sunk, but you know what? Sometimes you kind of have to risk things. But first, let's go ahead and just think about what we can produce and accomplish first, and we'll decide after if we really want to battle. I'm going to go ahead and put these in play in order to get 1 cargo on my ship and 2 in the harbor. I'm going to go ahead now and play the deckhand in order to get the extra sail and the influence, which I surely will use. I may or may not be attacking. So now at Trader's Rock, I'm going to go ahead and probably build something there because I want to be able to defend it. I don't want to lose it. And the AI seems to be enjoying going over there and toying with me. So what I'm going to do is, now that I have 4 cargo at my disposal, I think I'm going to switch gears here, and I'm going to actually use my level 2 first mate in order to build a fortress, something I probably should have done a while ago on those other, or at least on Fire Island, that I lost. I think we're going to go ahead and initiate our first battle. The captain is going to do that. I'm going to put these cards into play so I can, of course, use them. And as you can see, the gunner is actually going to give us 2 cargo on our harbor as well. Now, when I was calculating the cannons earlier, I wasn't remembering what the cannon on my ship, so I think I actually have 7, but I've done my counting here of the cannon icons to start the battle, and I have to count those up first, and those drop down, and then the battle abilities come in later. So I have 1 on the deckhand, I have 1 on the gunner, and I have 1 on my ship. So that'll give me a total of 3 out of the gate. The AI is going to go in with 7. Now, after I do this first drop, then I can choose to use my battle abilities, and I have up to 4 cubes that I could be dropping in at that point, which would certainly help me out. So let's go ahead and drop 7 versus 3 to start things off. This should be pretty interesting. All right, let's drop these cubes down the track and see how it goes. A little bit scared, to be honest. That was crazy close. I had 1 almost in this area right here, which would have been awesome, but it's up on the ledge, so I do need to drop it down again. Oh, it's up on a ledge again the second time, and it's also close to 2 damage. So let's keep dropping it until it resolves. There we go. At this point, I'm definitely going to use my battle abilities, so let's go ahead and drop it in. Now, how this works essentially is you use a battle ability, then the other player would use one, then you would use one. So I'm going to play it like that in terms of putting 2 in and then putting another 2 in afterwards to resolve each of the battle abilities I have. So first one here for the captain, and the second one here for the gunner. So let's go ahead and deal with all the plunder first. This one here is actually touching the other area. So for me, I'm going to gain 2 coins to my ship there. I also gain a cargo. So I'll remove this cube. And back here, this is 2 cargo, the one that you can't see. So 3 cargo total. And then this one in the middle allows me to take a cargo or a coin. I can do it twice. So I think I'll take 2 coins for that one. Now, the AI player at this point does get the benefit of what lands for plunder. So here it's going to take a coin over a barrel because remember, it converts barrels to coins. It definitely prefers coins. So 1 coin there. There's 2 over here that gets a coin plus a barrel. So in this case, it takes both because eventually it will go ahead and convert 3 barrels to a coin. Now that the plunder's been resolved, we'll deal with all of the fire damage, and unfortunately they did hit me, so I take 1 damage. Thankfully it wasn't 3 because then the AI would be coming after me like crazy on a potential future turn. Now we determined who won the battle, and it's obvious that the AI won the battle here. So because they won the battle, they're also going to inflict another fire marker to my ship. And because the AI won the battle, they get another cube on the legendary position, 2 more for them, and they get that achievement. So here is the current state of my ship. It's completely full of plunder, but it's also got a little bit of fire going on. The AI gained some plunder. There's 2 cargo there. Once we get a 3rd one, it will convert itself to a coin. Now I'm going to choose to actually set sail quite late in the turn, to be honest. So we're going to go ahead and, as of me being in an area that I control, no matter what I've got on my ship, I can actually get the full allotment of sails as I mentioned. Plus I have 1 sail on a deckhand, so I get a total of 3 sails, which is a lot more than I probably need. I'm going to first off head to the harbor, and we're going to drop off some of these coins. So we moved 1 to the harbor, so I'll knock myself down to 2 here. We're going to take all the coins off my ship and put them in my chest because I don't want to lose them. So as of right now, got a decent allotment, and I'm gaining very close, getting closer and closer to getting up to 30 coins. I'm also going to go ahead and I'm going to take these 2 cargo and I'm going to place them in slots. I think I know what I'm going to do here. I'm actually going to place 1 of the cargo that I have taking up a sail slot. I'm going to put that back at the harbor. I only want to carry out 4 cargo with me because I have 2 movement left. I'm actually going to head to this spot right here to take this advancement of the cannon and the sail. So with all the rest of my movement, I sailed out to open sea, gained that advancement, and at this point, I'm done my turn. Advancements have been replaced, I'm not going into pirate mode, and I have no more sails to spend as I used all of them. I'm going to sleeve the enhancement that I gained, which is this one right here. I'm going to place the cannon and the sail advancement onto the level 3 gunner. Cards have been discarded. We'll go ahead and draw up to 4. Another gunner, the purser, crew, and finally, bosun. And I'm going to choose right away to go ahead and level up this level 2 gunner. We are now moving into turn number 10, but first we'll roll the die to see what the AI will do. Got ourselves a 2. So based on the fact we're in the 4th row now of the AI card for turn number 10, the first thing it's going to do is try to place an influence marker at Trader's Rock. But you'll see I have a fort there, and it's only trying to place one influence marker. If I have a fort there, then it will not place that influence marker. And the only reason it would attack my fort is if it was trying to place 2 influence. So the fort actually does help protect. And also being in pirate mode with my ship in that location would also stop a single influence from the AI from being placed on there as well. So now that we move past that, let's head with the AI 3 spaces out from the harbor to the spire location. The AI here is going to take the advancement, which again has a battle ability on it, so it will be going into the AI's pirate pile. This is crazy how many of these cards the AI is grabbing in this playthrough. Next, it's going to hop over to Devil's Row, and it's going to place an influence cube there, as well as take the advancement there that also has a battle ability. So that advancement's been taken, and of course we put the 1 influence on Devil's Row as we're working towards, or at least the AI is working towards taking it just as much as we are at this point. So now we're done the left-hand side of the card. We also have the blue symbol at the bottom that states we'll place 2 influence in a location that has coins or cargo on an island. That does not apply. We can move past it. It appears that the AI ship is going to be upgrading again, and this is getting scary because once they get their 4th upgrade, they get an achievement, and this will be their 3rd. This is getting absolutely wild. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cannons now on the AI. That is terrifying, plus the amount of cubes coming from its pirate pile. This thing just keeps getting stronger and stronger. The next icon is a fort building icon, and currently both of the islands that the AI controls have a fort on them, so we can skip past that one. And now the next icon underneath that is for every 2 merchant cards, it will gain a coin, and it does have a total of 2 merchant cards, so it will gain a coin. The AI had 19 coins. That additional coin it just gained brings it up to a total of 20. I've gone ahead and replenished the advancements, and now we're heading into my turn. So I decided to set sail, and I used one of my movement to move to Devil's Row. And while I'm here, my aim is to try to take control of this island. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play the Bosun. So this card right here is going to give me 2 cargo at my harbor, which is great, and I can have the ability to use an influence, which I definitely will at this location. It goes into a blank spot, and based on the rules of control, so long as you have more cubes on the island than any other player, and you have more cubes than the number of empty slots on the island, you're in control. So right now I am in control. So I'm going to go ahead and take a permanent cube and place it down here on the track. Now I have 4 permanent cubes in play. Once I get to my 6th one, then I'm going to be able to take that achievement. With my last movement point, I'm going to move from the Devil's Row over to the Spire. Reason being is that this is a very cheap advancement later on, and if I happen to get the card that I know I have in my deck somewhere that allows me to take a cargo on board, I can immediately grab that one. I'm going to hold these 3 cards in my hand because remember, my hand limit is increased due to having the Spire still. Even though I lost control of Fire Island, the Spire gives me the increased hand size, or I should say hand limit, of 1. So I'm going to carry those 3 cards into the next turn. Nothing to refill. I don't need to be in pirate mode at this moment as I'm not trying to blockade any islands. In terms of losing any unspent sails, I don't have any to actually lose. We can't sleeve any advancements because I didn't gain any, so I'll discard and draw. So this Bosun was actually the only one that was used during this turn, along with... Actually, let me check. Was that the only one? It was the only one. That's right, because I kept 3 in hand. That's pretty wild. So we're going to grab 4 off the top here. What do we get? Deckhand. That's some good sail usage there. The Captain. Ooh, tempting to go back and fight the AI. Buccaneer. And a crew card. I'm going to hold off on leveling to see how the AI acts on its turn. So we're now heading into turn number 11. We'll roll the die. We got ourselves a 16. The AI card is now on screen. The very first thing it's going to do is try to place an influence marker right here. But there's nowhere for it to place any influence, but it will go ahead at this point and take this advancement. This is going to go in the mercantile pile. So thankfully it didn't go in the pirate pile for once. And then it's going to head all the way out to Cat's Claw. It's going to grab this advancement as well. And it's also, unfortunately going to place 2 here at this location. And by doing so, it has taken control of that island, and the AI player currently has 3 permanent cubes in play. So that is going to resolve the left-hand side. The center line has a battle icon at the top. It won't be battling me, thank goodness, because I only have 2 fire damage on my ship. If I had 3, it would be coming right after me. And that's something I've got my eye on. I'm going to be working to upgrade my crew to be able to exchange cargo to actually mend the ship up, because we don't want to get into a situation where the AI just comes gunning for us and takes us down and gets a quick achievement for burning us into the sea. So moving past that, we go ahead with the 2 blue icons for influence for the AI if there's any coins or cargo on the islands. There is none. We skip past that. The next thing we do is easy. It's just to place a cube on the level 4 achievement. You need 3 cubes there to get the achievement. I've placed 1 cube up top near level 4 to represent one of the 3 that the AI needs to take that achievement. For a player, how that works is I need to make sure that I get 3 of my cards all the way up to level 4. I've got a few of them up to level 3 and 2, so I'm very, very close to starting to drop cubes there myself. And also, before resolving the battle icon and the influence cubes and everything on the right-hand side, I should have placed the AI ship back in its final resting position for this row, which is the harbor. No gameplay impact there. It's just that should have happened on the left side of the card resolve. And the next thing it will do is repair 1 damage, but it is clear of damage, so the AI's turn is done. We'll go ahead and replenish the board for any cards taken. Just before my turn starts, I'm going to go ahead and level up my crew. You can see the level 2 ability is really cool. It's going to allow me to spend 2 cargo from anywhere in order to get rid of one of the fire markers. That is going to come in handy, seeing as our ship is currently on fire. I'm going to play the Purser card and use this ability down below right away. That's going to allow me to produce, and I'm going to choose the Spire to produce because I'm currently there, and it will produce a coin for me. And I'll immediately take that coin on board as well. The next card I'm going to use is a crew card. This one here lets me gain 1 cargo at the harbor. Next, I'm going to play the deckhand to get the additional sails. This is going to give me 2 extra sails. And just before we set sail, I'm going to go ahead and play the Buccaneer in order to gain a coin, because remember, if I can get that on my ship and bring it back to my harbor, and when I'm leaving to set sail from an area I control or for an island I control, I don't have to worry about the weight restrictions at that point. So we're going to go ahead and take a coin, which gets added to my ship. I'll place it right here, and we're going to set sail. We have 2 sails on my deckhand, 2 sails on my ship, so it's going to give me a total of 4. I'm now going to go ahead and have my ship move 3 spaces. I'm going to go to Devil's Row, and then I'm going to go to this blank space over here, and then go all the way over to Sea Hound Isle. Now, as you remember, with the cards I played, I've got 3 influence icons, and I'm going to use them all right now. And let me just double check that I don't have anything additional to add into that pile. 3 is all I need, because now I have more than the player and I have more than the blank spaces there, so I now control that island. So another permanent cube is going to be placed here. So now I've got a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I just need 1 more and I'll get the achievement that relates to that. So that's pretty good. I've also got a crew card, which I'm going to use eventually when I get back to my harbor to repair, as I was trying to do. And the gunner here, I'm going to hold on to for any battles, as well as my captain. These are some good cards for if the AI tries to get involved with me, or I want to attack the AI once it's out of the harbor, because I don't want to deal with the defense from that. So I'm probably, and this is the question, is now that I control that island, I have 1 more movement to spend. Do I really want to move into open sea somewhere? Not necessarily, and so it's kind of a tough call. I also have to realize I have 2 coins on my ship that are going to slow me down, so I might as well just sit where I currently am to end off my turn, and I'll end up losing that extra point of movement. The cleanup phase this time just involved losing that additional sail that I had, so I'm going to discard everything that's sitting down here, and we're going to draw up. I'm carrying over 3 cards, the captain, gunner, and crew, and we'll remove these ones right now to the discard pile. I used all the icons on them I wanted to. And we'll drop 4 cards. Let's see what we get. The deckhand, that's a good one. It gives me some sails. That's huge. Oh, nice. A gunner with sails. This is really good. The first mate, perfect. And another crew card. So this is going to be quite the next turn. I'm going to hold off on leveling up to see what the AI does, because that will impact my turn greatly. We're going to turn 12, I should say, and we rolled a 5. We've already had a 5 before on turn 7. So let's roll again. 17. Have we had a 17? We have in turn 9. Let's roll again. A 10. So based on the AI row number 4 card you're seeing on screen here, we're on the last time we'll be resolving that 4th row. We'll be moving into the last row for every other AI turn going forward in the future, so that will be pretty wild. So for this particular one, they're going to be heading over to open sea space to drop some influence that they cannot do. So that's great. We'll skip right past that. The next thing here states that they are going to head to Devil's Row, which is not good for me. They're going to take the advancement, rats. They're going to take the 2 cannons that I wanted. They're also going to drop an influence cube there. The AI has gobbled up that advancement into the pirate pile. It's also placed its influence there in the open space, but I still control that island, thankfully. The next thing it's going to do is it's going to move over in its final resting spot at Deep Reef Crag. This is actually great for me because remember how many awesome attack cards that I have? And now it's within striking distance for sure. My captain is ready. This might be an opportunity to go after it, although I'm a little scared that I have 2 fire markers on my ship. So if I can generate enough movement to get to the harbor and back, which would be quite shocking if I could pull that off, then that could be an option. We'll see. We also have on this particular card the 2 influence that would land anywhere there's cargo or coins. We'll ignore that because it doesn't happen. Next thing is it's going to gain coins equal to each 2 merchant cards it has. So taking a look at its merchant cards, it has a total of 4 now. So it's going to gain 2 coins, bringing up to a total of 22. And now it states on the AI card that after the end of turn, place 2 gold or 2 coins on the highest value island the AI controls. So you'll see value based on what's up here in the top. So right now it controls Fire Island, which is 4, and it controls Deep Reef Crag, which is 3. So the highest value island is Fire Island. But guess what? The coins don't remain at Fire Island because the AI actually owns it. It's going to take those coins and place it in its supply. The card I'm going to upgrade for this turn in order to ensure that I can get all the way to the harbor to repair one of my fire markers and then be able to get back to the AI ship to attack it is the deckhand. I'm going to go ahead and upgrade this to level 3 so I get the benefit of 2 sails instead of the 1. I'm going to place into play the gunner and the deckhand. That'll give me 3 additional sails as I want to set sail right away. So 3 sails plus the 2 sails that I have in my ship. Again, I can ignore the coin situation because I'm at a place that I control, so I can kind of offload and reload. That gives me a total of 5 sails. This is the most I've had in the entire game so far. Spent 2 sails to get back to my harbor. I converted 10 1 coins into 1 10 coin. So now I have 23 coins in my treasure chest, plus I'm dropping off these 2 right here, so I'm at 25. I'm just 5 coins away from getting that 30 coin achievement, which is pretty awesome. Next thing I'm going to do is focus on creating some cargo here. So the first thing you'll notice is on the gunner card as well, I'm going to trigger this icon right here that allows me to grab, in addition to getting all this other great stuff along the bottom if I wanted, 2 cargo at the harbor. So we'll go ahead, just grab 2 cargo and add it to the harbor. It's getting quite clustered. Remember, if I can get 12 here, if I can get 12 in general for the tradesman achievement, I believe it's called, or the merchant achievement, I can go ahead and get that one real soon as well. But I wanted to heal up my ship. That's another focus. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to go ahead and play this card. Crew card gives me 1 cargo on my ship and 1 cargo at the docks or my harbor. So we'll go ahead and basically I'm just going to essentially put one here, and then I'm going to offload it for now, because I like kind of keeping these all together until I figure out what I want to actually bring with me. Next, I've got so many of these cards with cargo, it's crazy. I actually might have enough to pull this off right now too. Ooh, it could be tempting. Could be very tempting. Okay, so this crew card, I'm going to use this one next. It gives me 2 at the harbor, and then I can actually, at the harbor, if I want to spend 2, get rid of a fire marker. So I'll play that to gain the 2 cargo. So now I'm just really racking it up here. We'll think about fixing it in a second here, unless I want to go after the achievement. And then I'll play the gunner. The gunner's going to give me another 2 at the harbor. So you can see how the game really, resource-wise, starts going crazy near the end, which gets real fun. So 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I have enough right now for that achievement. This is a brutal one to determine because my plan was originally to come back here to heal 1 fire marker and then head back out. But right now, if I exchange all 12 of these cargo from my ship and my harbor, which of course I've only got them on my harbor right now, I can gain that achievement, which puts me on my 2nd achievement, which means I'm halfway to triggering the end of the game. It's super, and that's actually probably a better decision than going after the enemy ship at this point. It's kind of brutal because I really wanted to, but with this opportunity here in front of me based on how much I was able to produce at the harbor, I think I have to take it. So as you can see, way up there next to the 12 crossed out cargo barrels, I've got my achievement there. That is my second one. Now I'm going to use 2 of my 3 movement in a complete change of what I anticipated I was going to do this turn in order to go back to Sea Hound Isle. I'm going to try to see if I can make it out to the Cat's Claw in the future in order to take this island, giving me my 6th permanent cube. So I'll go ahead right now and move my ship to Sea Hound Isle. I also want to be in an island I control because I get the advantage of all my sails no matter what's on my ship. Currently that's not too big of an issue. Yes, I would have loved to have stayed at the harbor and just used 2 cargo to take 1 of the flame markers away, but the achievement, it was so much better of a grab there, so it changed me in terms of what I wanted to do. I'm going to leave these 2 cards in my hand. I'm also technically burning 1 movement that I didn't end up using, which is fine. And at this point, we didn't pick up any achievements, although it appears I missed actually replacing an achievement that should have been there earlier on. So thankfully there's no gameplay impact, but I just caught that. So there's a merchant ship here. Maybe that's something we can go after as we head down to the Cat's Claw. Other than that, I don't need to go into pirate mode. I have nothing to sleeve, and I'm going to discard and draw. So along with my captain and first mate that I already have in my hand, I'm going to draw 4 cards. Let's see. Buccaneer, that's good for influence. I need that. Crew, I want to see sails. Give me some sails. Gunner. Okay, well, that's starting to inch me towards maybe going up against the AI. There's some sails. And I'll wait to level up based on what the AI is going to do. Now we're going to go into the very last turn. We're going to turn 13 for this video. We'll see what happens here. Got ourselves a 19. That's outside the 18 cards that I have to pull from. 5 we've pulled in the past. 19 is still outside. 10, we just recently pulled that as well. 13. So what is the AI up to on this turn? Well, checking out the card, we're now on 13 plus, and we'll be staying there going forward. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to have the AI head to, let's go the Spire first. So heading over here. Reaching here, the first thing it will do is it's going to place an influence marker there. But there is a garrison, and it's less than 1. So due to the garrison being there, it's protecting it, and it's not going to be placing a cube there. So that's good news. Again, it would only attack the garrison and go after it and really want to push if it was 2 or more that it was placing. Next is going to go to the Devil's Row, which is right here. And at the Devil's Row, it's going to try to place an influence cube. And this is quite interesting because this actually is going to shift things in the AI's favor, unfortunately for me. So that's going to place a cube here replacing mine. And that will be 1 cube for control. So that has switched on me, which is unfortunate. Next, the AI is going to go to Skull Island here and steal this advancement, which is going to go in the merchant pile. And then it's going to head over to this opposite side and explore the very last area, which is just an empty sea space except for that new advancement that shows up there. All right, so the middle line has the attack icon in it, but it can't attack me unless I have 4 or 3 fire or above. So thankfully I'm safe there. Next thing, it's going to gain coins based on every 2 merchant cards that it has. This is not good. Let's see what we're at now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, good. So it's still just getting the 2 coins, but that's still really pushing it up. So right now it's got 26. We are neck and neck for that 30 coin achievement. Now both of us can get it, but we're both racing at it right now. All right, so after that one, the next thing is it's going to repair 1 damage, but has no damage to repair. And then, ironically, it's going to gain 2 coins. And I jumped past this a little too quickly, but this advancement as well, the AI also takes. So this will be removed, and it goes into the merchant pile. Plus, the AI actually ends its movement at the harbor, unfortunately, hiding away from me. With all the advancements restocked on the board, we're going to move into my turn. Before I start my turn, I'm going to go ahead and upgrade my first mate from level 2 to level 3. I'm going to put my crew card in play for 1 cargo at the harbor. I'm going to place the deckhand card in play. I'll be using them for setting sails later on and influence later on as well. The gunner will also go in play, giving me 2 more cargo at the harbor and some other great battle abilities later on. I'm thinking about jumping through a merchant ship here. And the first mate, I plan on building something. So for now, I'll hold on to that card in my hand, although I'll probably be playing it very shortly once we get into a situation where I have cargo to spend. And then the Buccaneer, I'll definitely play to gain a coin on the ship now that we're all of this gaining, especially with the coin being in an area I control. I can just drop it right on my ship. So that's good. And of course the influence, which will help me to go after the cat's claw. And then the last card I have in my hand is my captain, which I'll hold on to, as well as the first mate, depending on how things pan out. So at this point, I'm setting sail. I've got 2 sails on my cards, 2 sails on my ship, and I don't want to forget about that coin that I just gathered, so I'll place that there, and we're going to get our sails up to 4. We're going to go ahead and spend 2 of them. Actually, we're going to spend 3 of them to go from where we are now all the way down to the cat's claw. The cards in play allow me to place 3 influence. I'm going to place 1 in the blank spot and take over the other 2, giving me control of the cat's claw. And just like that, we placed our 6th permanent cube on the board, which means we gain the settler achievement. I gotta say, we're doing pretty good so far. 3 achievements on the board. Let's go for our 4th. The next card I'm going to play from my hand is my first mate card. This allows me to build 2, and this is why I upgraded this one, 2 buildings for the cost of whatever's associated down here. We only get to choose 1 of these to build, so I'm going to go ahead and choose to build outposts for a cost of just 2 cargo from anywhere, ship or harbor. So I'm going to go ahead and remove 2 cargo from the harbor. I'm going to place 2 outposts. This is great because once these are placed, I will have a total of 4 buildings constructed. I originally had this one here too, and if I had Fire Island under my control and still had the fortress there, or the garrison I should have said, I would already have the 4th achievement right now, but the AI came in and destroyed that, so I'm working back towards it again. So the outposts, where do I want to place them? Well, typically you want to place them somewhere where you're going to produce the most. I do like the idea of one being here at Trader's Rock, so I'll place that one right here. And the other one I could place over at Seahound Isle. That's not a bad one to have in terms of creating cargo in this. Yeah, I actually like that one quite a bit. We seem to end up in these 2 spaces. So let's go ahead and put an outpost right there. So I'm going to end my turn right here, and I'm going to hold on to my captain card. No upgrades to speak of, so we'll go ahead and discard the cards that are currently in play, carrying my captain card on to the next turn. Let's see what we get. A deckhand, bosun, crew card, and another crew card. And that's going to wrap up part number 3 of Dead Reckoning's solo mode. Join me in the next episode as we dive right into what looks to be the finale. Thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, keep on rolling solo.